Hey everyone, welcome back to the Fence Armor channel. Always exciting to be here. There's a lot to do in the spring. We have the spring cleaning, and then we have our spring outdoor work. This week we had Michael from the Better Way Property Maintenance come over and visit. Really nice guy, known him for years. He was good enough to do aeration and dethatching on my lawn this year. This time of year is exactly when you want to be doing that, getting your lawn ready to receive seed, because typically you want to overseed, and pretty soon that ground temperature will get up into the mid 50s, and we want to make sure that we have pre-emergent set in to stop the weeds from growing, and you want to get your seed down in the ground. And I like to top dress. You fill up any of those gaps in the ground and give a little bit of peat moss that's in the top dressing the ability to hold in some moisture, so that the seed will germinate and we'll get some more fill in some of the spots that need that extra love. Especially if you're in an area where they don't allow a lot of pesticides, then you've really got to give competition to the weeds. And if the grass can fill in all the gaps, the weeds won't have a lot of light to grow up. And that's why I like to cut the grass about 3 inches high, 2.5 inches high, 2 3/4 or so, just to make sure that it's high enough that some of those weeds will die just from the shade. So that's a trick that I've learned. Keep the grass up a little higher. I would say if you're going to look at the order of operations, I would dethatch before I aerate, because if you dethatch after you've aerated, you're going to be picking up a lot of those cores, and they'll be all over the place. It'll be a mess. So dethatch, aerate. That would be the order that I would handle. If you care about your lawn, you care about your property. If you care about your property, you typically care about your home. Keep it organized. Naturally, you'll want to get out there and start taking care of your lawn, and aeration is just a part of it. What aeration really does is it breaks up the soil. So these prongs create cores into the ground, and basically they look like dog turds. Just pop up out of the ground, these little cores. And of course they break down and go back into the ground, but now it's created all of this airspace, which is called aeration, so you can seed, you can do other things, and lets moisture get down into the roots, breaks that up. The same with the dethatching. Here we're overseeding, we're doing all these things to thicken up the grass, but in the spring you want to kind of break that up a little bit so that new soil, new grass can get in there, and nutrients can get down into the ground easier. And that's why the aeration is so handy, especially if you mulch. In other words, if you have your lawnmower set to mulching mode and you don't collect the clippings, you let the clippings effectively go back into the ground. That can be handy, but it also does leave a lot of residual. So dethatching is important for especially guys who mulch the soil back in. And having beautiful grass running up right to the fence, now you have a situation where you need to trim the grass, and trimming the grass has its own issues. So you take out your weed whacker, your lawn trimmer, and now you're using it up right against your fence, and you start damaging the posts, which is a real problem. You don't want to be doing that, because you're going to start destroying the wood or the vinyl or any other post material that you have. And that's where Fence Armor comes in, and Michael saw that opportunity. A lot of landscapers do, and we appreciate the landscapers who offer that, especially if you're in an HOA or you're in a community. You need to be able to make sure that the properties last a long, long time. And if you don't have to change your fences out or paint them or stain them just because, the landscapers, including yourself, going out with the weed whacker, you can now, not have to be so delicate around the post to try and avoid it. You've got the Fence Armor on there. You can just rip right through the job and not have to worry about the damage on the property. Those are some things to think about and look at when you're waking up in the spring and saying, hey, what should I do this morning? Well, maybe I'll go aerate. And there are, you don't have to rent a guy with a machine. There are even special clip-on shoe things that you like needles there, and you can walk on your grass and they'll aerate them. It's a bit of a job. It's kind of like a snowshoe, but with prongs that do this. And I'm not sure how effective it is, but I've seen them, and it might be interesting And if you want to comment in there, it would be interesting to hear what your examples of using those particular tools. Anyway, thank you for joining us. It's been great to speak to you again, and hope you follow the instructions of that guy walking along the bottom there. Look forward to you joining us again next week and following our channel.